Keep your friends close, enemies closer, and your suppliers closest. Good evening, everyone. Today we have with us Professor Tomoyoshi Ogawa, Professor of Logistics and Marketing at Meiji University in Tokyo. Professor Ogawa completed his doctoral research course at graduate school at Meiji University and graduated from School of Commerce at Meiji University. His research fields are logistics and supply chain management, marketing strategy, and retail management. He teaches logistics and marketing to undergraduate and graduate students as well as executives as continuing programs at Meiji University. He is also an advisory member of logistics and marketing, strategic planning and consulting for major companies. We also have with us Mr. Neil Basu. Welcome, sir. So he at XLRI and a graduate in English literature from Delhi University. His core expertise in supply chain management includes designing lean supply networks, strategic sourcing, transportation and logistics management, customer delight, and business development and value chain. And along with him, we are also accompanied by Mr. Prabhu Kiran, who did his MBA from the University of Leeds in UK. He is currently the regional manager at St. John's Group and is handling the mobility and e-commerce division. We are grateful, sir, for the time and effort that you have taken to spend time with students at IFMR. Also, we would like to thank all the other dignitaries from Sri City who have come here to spend time along with the students here at IFMR. I would now request Professor Ogawa to enlighten us to talk about the topic supply chain in Japan and India.
Thank you very much for introducing me. My name is Ogawa, Tomoyoshi Ogawa, and I'm one of the faculty members of Meiji University, and I'm very glad to be here to make a presentation today. Well, this is fifth visit to India, and I like it being here very much. And today I have another guest, Mr. Basu, and mostly I came here in India to attend Mr. Basu's ASCP annual conference in Mumbai, Kolkata, and there will be first annual chapter, regional chapter conference in Chennai the day after tomorrow. Well, let me introduce Meiji University, my university first, briefly. We are located in the center of Tokyo. It's called the Chiyoda-ku. It's very close to Emperor's Palace, just center of Tokyo metropolitan area, Tokyo. And it's founded 1981 as a law school, French law system was introduced to Japan, and Meiji University has settled as a French system law school in the Meiji era, so in Japanese. So our name is called Meiji University. We have 135 years old history. And now we have 10 different schools. I work for the School of Commerce, and we have agriculture, science, politics, information science, literature, management, international studies. We have now 10 different schools. And one of the largest private university in Japan. Totally, we have 33,000 students including postgraduate and undergraduate students. Entrance exam of the Japanese university will be held in February, so next month we'll have entrance exam for mostly high school students, and we have probably more than 100,000 applicants for entering, taking the entrance exam. And last year, last September, in Japan, we have Japan Logistics Society, which is academic association of logistics. And 35th anniversary and annual conference was held at Meiji University, and we invited Hashimoto Basu as one of the speakers from India. We had a large annual conference at Meiji University last year. Well, today I'd like to make a presentation of those contents, logistics development in Japan, and principles of logistics strategy, principles of logistics operation, strategy and operation, and the conclusion. Well, firstly, I'll briefly explain the historical development of logistics strategy and operation in Japan from 1960 to 2020 in the near future. Well, in Olympic game in 1964, the economic expansion is really growing, so the network as well as bulk train called the Shinkansen as constructed at that time. The economy growing rapidly at that time, and the development of cold chain logistics network has completed at that time, and retail chain, the chains are not independent store, but most chain store supermarket has grown at that age. And the base of mass production has completed economically. And then 1970s, the distribution network, distribution system or infrastructure has constructed mostly in 1970s. Many ports and long-haul truck terminals and cargo airports has constructed widely all over Japan. So, 96, the most important thing was economic development, and then infrastructure problem was solved in 1970s, basically, and unit road system or mechanical logistics system has stretched out and completed. And in the 1980s, the information society, information age and information society era, 1980s, electronic data interchange has started to be used among many business fields, manufacturing, distribution, and retail distribution as well. And at that time, not only physical distribution, but also logistics concept has been discussed very often. Distribution, physical distribution was meant as transportation and inventory management, but in 1980s, physical distribution and manufacturing and procurement probably systematically managed as business logistics. And this is the explanation of 1960s development of corridors and infrastructure was completed basically, and many retail chains were opened, not only independent stores but also large supermarkets and mass merchandising store has opened in 1960s. And the generation system for mass production to support production and mass consumption as social infrastructure as constructed at that time. And the 1980s, information error flourished. Many. Of course, internet system has existed, but value-added network started business communication as well as logistics information. And then logistics concept has developed, and among the companies, strategic alliance important, and business logistics is a company-wide system, and strategic supply chain management is much more popular among business field. It's company-wide system. Network getting much important and getting alliance is getting popular, and just quick response procurement is dominant to the supply chain management, not to the speculation system, but procurement system is getting much improved, and in the SPA, it's called the specialty store in Apple, like Uniqlo or American company Gap, such kind of quick response system, and just-in-time Toyota system has spread it out in this era. And then 2000, entering the 21st century, more sophisticated custom is required as a strategic weapon for the companies. 90 in 1990s, logistics is a competitive weapon among the companies. Before that age, new product development and branding strategy competitive weapon, but recently not only marketing but strategic logistics is much more important for the companies to compete each other. After that, in 21st century strategy, more getting important and the role of supply chain is to increase the customer service, shorter lead system is getting much more important for supporting to the EC, electric, the final consumer in Japan. Now the programs, that means from distribution center or retail, each family's home delivery is a kind of a problem, the bottleneck of distribution right now. And in Japan, the lack of labor is a serious problem in the logistics field. So AI system or some electronics will have such kind of problems. That's expected now. And another problem is to solve the environment. Modal shift, tracking to railroad or ships can be used for decrease the environment problems. So in Japan, tracking is of transportation is but now it's changing to railway or ship. Not only environment problem, but the lack of labor, or the lack of labor problem, getting much more important. And in the near future, the digital economy is clearly expansion is much more important. And Japan or Japanese company here, Japanese company has opened a huge factory recently in the Asian area. Japanese company is expanding their heavily, and in the near future, 1920s, AI and big data and even the blockchain projects will be very effective. To solve this for logistics progress. New will be expected with using the blockchain concept in the field of logistics. Blockchain is emerging as a system, but it's probably combined with logistics activities, consumer information, obtaining the consumer information, buying habits, and ordering, and displaying the retail store and forecasting for production management, and blockchain will combine the whole, not only logistics but also consumer data as well as operations. The logistics not just doing the activity daily, but strategy should be linked with the corporate strategy. This will be the most important field for such business and cooperation for the corporate. And secondly, the second principle is comprehensively. That means, for example, in 1970, is just transfer for warehouse logistics, physical distribution. So by is very getting much more important and general, getting become general. Certainly, that means certainly company wide system and business logistics, but also in the organization and supply chain management much important. And feedback mechanism too is also necessary and important. Feedback mechanism to the term planning, reflecting the result of business plan term. Fifth, finally, much more getting important logistics strategy. Probably in the corporate executives will be board member as a board member, logistics manager as a board member necessary to manage the business strategy. And training and recruiting the skillful human resources much more, getting much more important for logistics field. And daily operations, the logistics, those are the 5 principles for the operations. The customer service level is getting much more important recently. Not but customer objectives is much more getting important. And secondly, focusing on indicator, key KPI is what logistics, setting a KPI for the customers for efficiency, management efficiency. I mentioned blockchain for the daily operations and leveraging logistics. Well, until 1970s, the most important objectives for logistics or physical distribution is the cost, decreasing the operation cost. Probably now logistics cost in Japan is 4 to 7 sales, and it's until 1970s it was decreased. It has decreased with mechanical logistics activities as well as the system, using the information system. But after 1990, is not cutting the cost, but increasing the customer level. Even the cost is for the competitive objectives. Customer service level is required, but now not competition, but alliance is much important now. So much important now. So 96, our objectives in logistics, cutting the cost of distribution, and 90s, 90s, to compete for each other, the company increase the customer service level for not competition but alliance is much important with partners or with customers or even the customers. And marketing used to be the students interested in marketing strategy than logistics. But recently, the developers and higher level customer service is realized not marketing but logistics. The people recently in Japan buy not but they only need a function or benefit of products. So until 1980s, the new product or differentiation of the product is limited. But recently, the people do not care what's the design or function or detail of the product. The marketing strategy is not so important for consumers, but consumer was not what to buy or important things for when will it be available, or when will it be available? How long is it, or how short is the lead time? Not selecting the product itself, but for the customer service. Logistic effect is much getting important for the consumer or customer service. So Japanese 50 years development probably India you do not need 550 years, probably cutting degrading the cost and strategic logistics, the role of strategic weapon, and increasing the customer service probably is merging at the times. So Japanese 50 years history in India would be 5 years or realized at the time. So from now, I'm applying the Japanese history of logistics to India and expanding of making India or the Indian economy. The Japanese 50 years history will be very concisely and contensively. So let's develop together from now in the future. And we'll have Olympic next. We had former Olympic in 90. So these 50 years expansion or will be hint or idea for the next Indian, I hope. Well, thank you very much. If you have some impression I have explained or and as a Japanese situation. Thank you very much.
Now we'll have some questions. Anyone? I met Mr. Basu to have some few words with us in India about logistics in India. Can you please welcome Mr. Basu?
Thank you. Well, logistics in India, I think, is a topic, so I won't dare to talk about it. So, but honestly, I don't know what to talk on, actually. You've invited me. Well, I'll just give you a brief about ASCP, the Association of Supply Chain Professionals. We told about it in
I think we should thank Professor Obama, but even though first language and English is second, but I think he explained to us very nicely in English. So it was really nice. So the students, I mean, because the video has been taken, so I hope you are using it for the in-house only, right?
We are doing a webcast.
Okay. So I'll just mention a bit about the Association of Supply Chain Professionals. Supply Chain Professionals is India's first association for logistics and supply chain professionals by the government. Supply chain professionals by the government. It is registered under the society's registration 60. There are associations all over the world. There is the US Council of Supply Chain Management Professionals, which is the world's largest. CILT, which is a UK-based organization, which is also probably one of the oldest one. India is going through a transformation, massive transformation. 2000, we are in this era, and there was no supply chain association formally in India. Of course, we have institutions, we have institutes, a chain giving out the supply chain programs, but there was no association, formal association, which would community, the supply chain community, to the government, to the public, to the academic. A few years back, this association was formed in 2017. I represented the Council of the community here, wanted an association which we felt, and we established this association, and I'm very proud to say that in its 2 years existence now has grown multifold. We have members all over the country, we have corporate members, we have student members, and it's growing rapidly. In fact, now across the country, just day after tomorrow, we are going to have the first of the Association of Supply Chain Professionals in Chennai. So I would like to invite all of you who would be interested in supply chain to attend this program in Chennai. So this is going to be the first program, and of course we have been organizing throughout the year. Just to give you a brief, since a lot of students are here, and I'm told that many of you have, you are opting for operations as your primary subject. So I think most of you would be in supply chain. So to know more about supply chain, what is, of course, from the academic side, you are getting the best from the university, but what is happening in the industry? What is how the government is taking the industry, you should be part of a formal association. Various top business schools have supply chain programs, and students have forms. I can just give you an example of XLRI Jamshedpur. They have, if you would know about that. So the operations students, they have become members of ASCP and chapter in the school. They do various programs. They invite, see, individually, it's very difficult to get somebody in the university or anywhere. But when you are in a group calling somebody, it's like a big body. So it becomes much more easier for you also to interact with the industry. So I would definitely like to encourage all of you to be part of ASCP. You can go through the website www.ascp.co.in and you will get to know about more what is happening within the association. We have industry people, we have people from the academia who are part of it, we have students who are part of it. So, and it is not what the association is giving to you back It is basically you as volunteers, as members, what you are doing for and for the supply chain community. So please don't expect that once you become a member, getting some services from the association. It is not like that. It is a voluntary organization. It is a member, and you have to contribute with your own activities to and derive the maximum from your membership. So and I'm telling you should not become a member expecting something out of the association. It is be more than happy if you volunteer, if you can do something for the association, for the and in turn, of course, you can interact, you can network with the best of supply chain people. With this, I would like to it's a brief talk. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and I would certainly like to thank Professor Chandrasekharan to have invited us today. And it's a great opportunity for me personally to have accompanied Awa here to the university, and thank you, Professor, for inviting us here. Great, and I hope we will get some future opportunities also to come here. I also hope that you all probably could do some activities under the in future, and wherever the association can support you, we will be more than happy to do that as well. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us about the ASCP in India. I would like to Prabhu Kiran, the regional manager of St. John Group. He would like to talk about and about his company.
Very good evening to all of you. I don't know if I'm going to talk about logistics. I represent St. John Group here, and St. John Group is part of St. John. We are one of South India's largest logistics and supply chain company. We are headquartered in Port City, Tuticorin, and but we are present in 20 countries with 58 offices, 1,004. And this is a first generation entrepreneur company, and to Port City, a lot of trade is happening there. We also own South India's largest station, 165,000 square feet of space, largest warehouse by yard. And so that's our strength. So if you want and we also own 2 vessels as well, 2 feeder vessels, 2 to Gurun, to Colombo, and we do stevedoring, and we've done so many industry awards. So if you're interested in logistics, and if you want to visit Tuticorin and see the facilities and learn more about how real time, academia is very important, and you learn the basics. But it's so different, but there is a connect between the two, and only when there is a connection between the two, managers will succeed and go up in their career. It's very interesting field. Logistics is a very interesting field. It's a customer service driven industry. You have to be always on your toes. And today in information technology, the customer knows about the industry, the business more than the domain experts. You can't say one information wrong to the customer, because the customer is so much informed, and there's lots of information. So you need to be very thorough with the subject, and as well as the day-to-day dynamics of the business as well. Every day there is some change, or the industry is very changing. So if you like a fast-paced industry, do connect and to assist as well. So good luck to Kriya University. We thank Professor Chandrasekharan for having invited us. The Friday event, there are around 100 vice presidents and CEOs and supply chain experts coming in. So connections really do matter. You never know when connections really happen. To give you a site, around 12-13 years back, I did my MBA at Leeds University. I sat on the flight. There was a gentleman sitting next to me, and he was working in the common area. And he just guided me, and I was just a young guy going from here to do my but I did maintain the relationship, and then very recently also, and he still remembers. You never know when connections, small connections matter, and especially in the world of MBA, connections are very, very important. So very beautiful opportunity if you can get some permission from a class or whatever your leadership team. Please do come at least for an hour or two. Yes, I mean sometime in the afternoon or something like that. Yes. Thank you once again, and have a good evening.
Thank you, sir. Now I'd like to ask questions to any of the to Mr. To Professor of the industry expert sitting over.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Roshal. I'm a second year student at IFMA.